All right, hi everyone, and welcome back to another Siege team today. We're here watching Ohio State play against Syracuse. Uh, I am Currency, and
I am Grifter, and first game is going to be on Oregon here, and it's the third week of the Collegiate R6 tournament.
first
And
pick coming in from Ohio State.
yeah,
I'll take Jackal.
yeah, pretty classic band here on Oregon. Yeah, we have Ohio State versus Syracuse, and we'll see what Syracuse bands see if they take anything out of the ordinary. Since Ohio State's attacking first, I'm surprised once again they didn't take anything off the board. They didn't leave anything on the board that they could kind of abuse, but you never know. Thatcher,
A
that's the
little
key band right
interesting.
there. I mean, I think with the role that Thatcher and Twitch play right now in the meta, where that entry is so important to take away mute jammers and stuff like that, it's pretty important. But I think at the same time, they're also handicapping themselves to some extent because they're attacking first. So
Yeah, and there's of course other electronics. And there's the Maestro.
yeah, Maestro going to make some of the holds here on Oregon a little bit more difficult. I mean, it's really good if you get a little bit of damage on somebody and you can kind of hit them down with that Maestro as they're planting or something like that. Just as a little bit of a distraction. Surprised to take him. Mira
No
and Ohio
surprise there.
State.
Yeah. All right, so pretty usual, but Thatcher's going to be interesting. Not going to be able to disable electronics very easily.
Yeah, the Thatcher band is for sure a real curveball because the Mirror band. I mean, the Mirror band makes that upper bomb side hold and that lower bomb side hold super easy if you're a defender. And the Thatcher's kind of the same thing, honestly, on attack, where you could just throw one of those nades down and you know you're going to be good to enter or really good to kind of push up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting this time. Of course, we saw a lot of attack, domination last week from Ohio State. So starting them on defense this time could be a little interesting, of course.
Yep.
Starting with nothing really out of the ordinary. Of course, they have the smoke as well.
Yeah, that they're gonna do the same thing they did last week with second floor hold first instead of the basement. Kind of a toss up usually between where you go, either basement or kids' dorms, but a pretty standard setup here for Ohio State with the smoke mute and then the Jaeger and the Doc for a little bit more fragging potential in the Echo plant tonight. The
two hard breachers over on Syracuse could be a little interesting. They've got so
yeah, that Syracuse lineup is really going to be interesting because probably going to be looking at the Capita or the IQ to entry frag and kind of get you your picks early, but yeah, they're going to have to utilize the utility that they brought, especially I think they probably weren't planning for Ohio State to go up on this upper bump side here because with that thermite, it's usually enough to get into the bedroom. You can plant in there once you get once you get control. But now we'll have to see how they're going to utilize that upon thermite in tandem. Pretty standard setup here for Ohio State, though. Somebody is most likely going to be playing in that B bomb site, and looking like Cal's going to open up that wall. Maybe one daddy or the Echo playing in there just so they can play a little bit more safe. But could also be Cal, just having that smoke utility in there as something that's very important. Cal and going to be looking to get a little more usefulness out of those. Last time it was usually him dying first and not getting his full use out of that smoke pick, but for sure a strong operator on this site. Syracuse looking in to start the push and going to get an early pick onto Gray. That mute down, not the biggest thing if he's already got his mute jammers down, but still an opening frag to start off. Only a minute into the round by Syracuse, and Shrimp with a pretty big opening kill there. Going to get them a little bit of pressure here. Going to go for that classic bedroom take out of the top floor. Habana going to be clearing out this lobby area. And the IQ is putting a little bit of pressure onto the Armory window. But looks like it's going to be a full clear here from the side of Syracuse. Try to make sure that there's no roamers or no pressure they can get from below while they push that bedroom side.
Yeah, and they're pretty spread here. It's kind of interesting. They tend to stay to that one side, but they have people kind of attacking at different angles. So something we actually didn't see as much last week. So it could be interesting to see how they off against Hawk.
For sure. So it's a one-sided attack, but at the same time, it's kind of a spread out attack, like you said. Crab gonna be up here, above meeting room, gonna take some damage from chemical, and they get the bedroom wall open from the thermite. That's gonna give them a lot of presence here, but only a minute left in the round. So Syracuse is gonna be really pressured here to kind of get what they can get. Ubi is down in Big Tower, and it doesn't look like One Daddy's gonna be able to get him up. So essentially playing what looks like a 3-on-5 right now for OSU. And Syracuse is really going to be able to pressure this man advantage. Shrimp with a huge pick on the chemical. And now, I mean, you're 5v2. They finish off Ubi. And, yeah, this is a very clean take here. Going to get the last smoke grenade out from Cal. And it's going to really be up to Syracuse now to kind of push in and get the plant down with 15 seconds left. Thermite looks like he's going to get the defuse down. Teacup is going to get One Daddy, and it's going to be a 5-on-1 for Cal, and it's not looking good. Bomb does successfully go down, and now they are going to push. Cal's gotten behind them and has gotten a huge flank, picks off 2, and he is going to get pressured from that bedroom side. I don't know if he knows about it, but Syracuse surely knows where he's at. Oh, does not get the third. And
looks like they actually might have traded there.
Yeah. That would have been a huge pick from Cal. Would have really set him up to win that round, but Syracuse pretty clean take there from them on that upstairs site. Ohio State getting picked off a little bit too much early, and that was kind of the downfall of that site for them.
Yeah, and of course it was kind of interesting. Really only took 2 of their players pushing pretty hard there. Nothing really crazy, and only one coming out from Ohio State. So could be seeing just a defense or an attack-sided map here, but I guess we'll find out this round.
Yeah, Ohio State really did kind of gift them a couple of those kills, just peeking and being a little bit over-aggressive, and they set themselves at a disadvantage. I mean, you got to think that had one more person been up there from Ohio State when Cal got that flank off, it might have really flipped around in Ohio State's favor. They are going to go back up onto that second-floor bomb site, going to run the same setup here, except they're going to switch Ubi onto the dock. It looks like maybe 6-pick him on. And it looks like Syracuse is going to run basically the same attack here. Because, I mean, you can't really blame them. That worked very well. Going to 6-pick off the dock and onto the Echo. So a little bit of switch up there for Ohio State. No dock. Not that they really got any of the utility out of that pick last round. But I'm going to go for round 2 here. Up on this upstairs bomb site. And you got to think that Syracuse has got to be feeling pretty good about themselves with how clean that first round was.
Yeah, and you'd hope that Ohio State's able to better defend this time. Looks like they switched it up a little bit. Even Jaeger, they're putting down his ADS in different spots. So could be kind of interesting here. Of course, they are going to cover this hall.
Yeah, this upper meeting hallway they're going to close off, like you said. And I mean, they didn't get that rotation out of Ubi through that section like they probably thought that they would last round, but at the same time, he's going to play over in that big tower, and they're going to hopefully see if he can get a little bit of pressure back onto Syracuse, or just to make sure that he can eat up a little bit of time, because, I mean, Syracuse took a good amount of time in that last round, but still, they got an opening frag a minute into the round, and from that point on, it was just all downhill there from Ohio State. But
yeah, and a little different setup here. They have Cal playing this top for backside. And, of course, they know they're coming from the same spot now. So
yeah, Syracuse going with that same kind of push here onto Armory and onto the bedroom. Yeah, like you said, Cal on this one going to be playing more in Armory, more offensive position for sure, and going to have One Daddy back in the bedroom, the kids' bedroom, playing on that Echo. So trying to get a little bit more use out of his utility, and Cal going to be looking to be more aggressive here for sure.
Yeah, and lots of droning here, of course. I mean, they've got 4 people going still.
Really, I mean, a minute into the round already, and not a lot of progress here from Syracuse, so they're playing it slow again. They weren't given that kill like they were last round. by Ohio State. So gonna finally get a little bit of pressure in to the bedroom now. But I mean, so you got a minute and 45 seconds left, and you haven't made a huge advancement. They're gonna encounter that mute, I'm guessing, on the bedroom wall, but they're either gonna have to get pressure from below to block those out, or find another way, because there really isn't any way for them to stop that with that Thatcher ban.
And this is expected. The Thermite's going to try and get in here.
Yeah, like the Chemical going to get a huge pick onto Crab, and wow.
I don't think he knows that there was two people watching that. Could have been interesting if he decided to peek that. Looks like he might here.
We saw SA do this last week where they let them open up this wall, and then he just played in one of the corners, and he got a couple of picks early, but I'm surprised that they gave that up. But it does look like potentially they might have blown out the mute jammer from below that site. But now, Syracuse, 50 seconds left. They really have to kind of step it up here, because like with that smoke and with that echo, Ohio State's going to have a lot of time to really cancel this out. Ubi gets a pick on to Valued, and Ohio State's looking pretty now. They're up 5-3, and getting a lot of utility out of those roamers, and really forcing Syracuse to take their time and kind of press slow. Gonna get a pick on the Chemical. Wow. Chemical and Gray, SA, finishing that off with the down from Syracuse. And honestly, Syracuse just kind of stalled out. They got that wall open, albeit a little bit too slow, and they just kind of petered out from there.
Yeah, and just the complete opposite of what we saw the first round. Ohio State only had one kill last round, and they were able to get 4 this round. So just a completely different team we're seeing there. Could be interesting. They did switch up their strategy a lot, so that could.
Yeah, having those 3 players roaming and playing more aggressive sites really prevented Syracuse, I think, from getting the information they need, not being able to take that armory upstairs. And Syracuse just kind of stalled out. They went for the same kind of approach, and it just didn't work this time. And it seemed like they got a little flustered once they kind of met with a bit of resistance.
And it could have even been time there. I mean, towards the end, when they first started pushing, it was kind of interesting. They seemed like they were going to stay back for the rest of the round, and only one of them was really being aggressive at all, and they were peaking the same spot. So it wasn't really anything too creative. Maybe going with what they did the first round, if they were to actually run in and see what they can do there, they could win some fights.
Yeah, for sure, a little bit disjointed there with that Thermite pushing up. Not really anybody to refrag him or anything like that. But, it's going to be going on to the third round now. Ohio State going down to that downstairs bomb site. Another really strong bomb site on this map. I mean, when you think about this game overall, that bottom floor and that upstairs bedroom sites are 2 of the stronger sites in the game for the defenders. How you can really play around how you're going to hold those. But Ohio State going with that same kind of setup. You're going to swap out the Jaeger for the Legion, which they did last week. I'm sorry, and it really worked for them with great effect. They were able to stall out CMU and kind of make sure that they weren't able to aggress onto them very fast with the Legion roaming and kind of just being a pain in the side. But it looks like Syracuse is going to go for a pretty standard setup here. The glass to utilize the Capitao smokes is pretty common, and going to hope to peek some of those angles and get a couple of kills here.
And kind of interesting, they did, of course, choose the same spawn pod. Of course, they've switched their defense, so it could be kind of interesting here, seeing how they push this different. Seeing it different.
For sure, this is Syracuse is going to have to take a lot of time here to kind of clear out these rumors, or like last week, are going to prove to be a pain in their side as they try to push. And Ohio State is going to be aggressive here. Cal's playing up on these stairs, looking for anybody kind of not checking their corners or being a little bit too aggressive. But it looks like Syracuse is going to go for that classic lobby push. They're going to try to clear out as much of the roam presence as they can, but after that, they're really going to be forced to make sure that their backs are clear and that they can push. Ubi gets a pick and is immediately refragged by Shrimp. So getting that glass is a huge deal, because I mean, now so you can be a little bit more safe behind those smokes and behind the smokes from Cal. And, I mean, honestly, Romer did his job. He took a vital member off of the Syracuse side and really got his job done. Thermite being a little aggressive here. Going to get a good amount of damage from Cal put back onto him. Not really sure what he's doing there, but honestly, I think Syracuse is they're kind of stuck here because with no Thatcher, they can't really do anything, and they're just going to have to kind of walk down these stairs and hope that they can do some damage.
And a great smoke there by Cal. Of course, that's going to block off the stairs for a little bit, but they are going to push here, and Cal's pretty low.
Yeah, Cal still being aggressive on that low health. That IQ going to peek down, try to pre-fire. Not going to get anything, but with 50 seconds left here, Syracuse is going to have to make a move because they don't have any Thatcher to clear out those mute jammers, and they don't have any other way to get down than the 2 stairs. So Ohio State's got to hold here for about 40 more seconds, and they'll be up 2-1.
Great
Cal
shot.
gets another good amount of damage onto that IQ. Yeah. He's going to dare him to peek him again because he's taking a chunks of health off of 2 people now. Going to burn that last smoke grenade with about 30 seconds left, so he's going to force Syracuse to play into him, although he's not going to have the utility of that smoke.
Of course, something interesting there is that they are changing the Capitao. So it does have a little more range, but less damage. It's going to be interesting to see. The plays like that would be completely different with the range on that.
Yeah. Gonna get a last second push here by Syracuse. Gonna be planting the bomb. Gray getting a pick, and yeah, it's all up to Gray now. He knows that they're planning, doesn't know where now. Does not find the Hibana in time, and really kind of a messing around there at the end from both sides. I mean, it was a real last second push from Syracuse because they couldn't break any of those hatches, and they just kind of dropped down where they could. And Ohio State just was not prepared for kind of that overwhelming presence that they had, even though Cal really did do a lot of damage and Ubi with the trade. I mean, honestly, Ohio State was playing that into that round, essentially up 4-3, maybe even 4-2 with how low that IQ and that thermite were. Couldn't convert the kills, and Syracuse takes another round, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, and the kill onto Cal was really key. I mean, they had 2 players waiting to come down that staircase, so getting rid of him really let them take that site. Of course, maybe a little backup or something would have helped Cal out, but it was a pretty close fight either way.
For sure. That not having that mirror there on that lower bomb site can prove a little difficult for sure when you have to have somebody playing up on those stairs like that and you can't necessarily have somebody to back them up. But Ohio State going to go back downstairs to the laundry. Going to run basically the same setup here, switching out the Echo for the Doc. And with that 6 pick. And Syracuse going again with the same kind of setup here. They are going to switch onto the Zofia. So a little bit more presence. Honestly, the Zofia is probably not a bad call because if you can concussion mine Cal in that last push, you probably make it down those stairs with full health on 1 or 2 of your members and can really get a lot more presence on that bottom side sooner. But gonna go for probably a similar hold here from Ohio State, considering, I mean, you can't be too mad with how they held the last round. It just ended up kind of the cards didn't fall their way as the round ticked down and really led to Syracuse getting that win.
Yeah, and I mean, we're not really that far off either team from each other on kills, so it's really just coming down to who's able to strategize the sites. And, Syracuse just gotten, I think, a couple better pushes, and, this is going to be pretty similar. I mean, they're going to put Cal back on stairs, and he is smoke, so nothing really new here, but it's going to be, the big difference is going to be whether Cal can.
Yeah, for sure. Cal, I mean, an R6 getting damage on people is nice, but at the same time, you those kills. And realistically, it has really been about the execution of Syracuse. I mean, that first round was really executed well, but I mean, Chemical getting an early pick now, with no refrag now, but still, Ohio State's going to be up 5-4, and Ubi's taking a lot of damage. Going to probably see if he can get a little bit of juice from the Doc and see where you can go there. But Ohio State up early, 5-4, and 2 minutes left in that round. That's a pretty big pick onto that Sofia, especially making sure that she can't really help Syracuse kind of run down those stairs and pressure Ohio State on.
Yeah, and a great reset there on Ubi that was needed. Of course, they were lucky because they had Legion roaming with Ubi, so good reset and a peak coming in. Going to be with it here.
Yeah. Would have liked to see probably the Doc on that one just to use some of that utility to give him the health back, but honestly, I mean, you reset him to 50, and now he gets another kill. I mean, that reset proving pretty big. Didn't take any damage on that one, getting a peek from the outside. Chemical getting another pick here, and really the cards are just kind of crumbling here for Syracuse as the Ohio State's up 5-2 with a minute and 20 left in the round. They can really be aggressive now and try to push their advantage. Cal, you see coming up those stairs, Chemical peeking that front, and really making sure that Syracuse can't get anything for free here. But, yeah, a real strong approach here from Ohio State. They've really shown that they can adapt. Chemical are going to get picked by value, so a little bit of over-aggression there potentially, but still. I mean, you're up 4-2, only a minute left. Ubi going to get that pick back onto valued, and so now it's all squared up 4-1, and 50 seconds left here for the Capitan. Honestly, you just got to see what you can do up here.
Yeah, and he does not know where he is. Being pretty cautious here. He doesn't know that he has plenty of space to push this.
Sees that Claymore on his right side, but not sure exactly where he might have been. But that kill by Tick-Up onto SA. He's going to give a little bit of information here. Ubi going to
really
try to
risky, but that worked out.
That was a little risky, but 50 health, you're better off trying to, honestly.
Very true.
And Cal going to get the pick onto Tick-Up, and that's going to be the round. I mean, honestly, that was a round one from Ohio State by their rounders. Just a couple of early picks to really stifle the offensive attack from Syracuse, and there's really nothing they could do. They couldn't get their actual setup going. I mean, with the way that this bomb site plays out, you kind of need all of your components to push that lower bomb site, because if you don't, you can just hold the angles and make sure that as the defender, nobody can get past you.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, Chemical and Ubi both had great peaks there, and they were kind of working together. And that kind of protected Cal because he didn't have to deal with as many players there. Ubi took a lot of damage that could have gone either way in that fight.
Yeah, honestly, I think Ubi lived with around 10 health there. That fight goes another way, and it could be for Syracuse. But yeah, taking a little bit of pressure off Cal on that stairs push, especially that Zofia pick. Just making sure that they can't bum rush you down those stairs. And now Ohio State's going to go back up to that second floor kids' door. And it looks like Syracuse is potentially going to go with a different lineup here, a little bit different at least. Going to swap out that Habano, they haven't been finding a lot of utility from her, but going to keep that Thermite and the Capitao and IQ the same. Going to run that Glass upstairs now too. So probably going to look for a peek on one of the windows or the long hall out of Armory to kind of pressure Ohio State off of that middle hallway a little bit more. And Ohio State also adapting here with the castle, and especially with the blitz. I mean, I think they weren't seemingly getting a lot of utility out of that mute. Both times that they played this bomb site, Syracuse was able to plop that bedroom door open, or that bedroom wall open, and really pressure Ohio State from there. But with that blitz, or with that bandit now, you're gonna look for Gray to really try to bandit trick that wall and make sure that they can prevent Syracuse's entrance, especially now with the Habana going. I mean, it's going to be really on that Thermite to get the wall open. And if they don't, then Syracuse is really going to be kind of stuck here in this push.
Yeah, I mean, not having soft breachers when you have a castle on it is just always difficult. They've, of course, got all the important peaks covered now. So definitely an important Thermite here, and it's going to be interesting.
For sure. That Twitch can be a pain in the side for SA, but he's got to play right, or that Bandit's just going to get a ton of utility and really make sure that Syracuse can't really push in here or anything like that. But a pretty basic hold here with one daddy in the kid's bedroom and Cal being aggressive on those white stairs. Glad's going to clean up that lobby area. They've spotted out somebody on the drone, and they know he's there, but he's going to fall back. And
yeah, it looked like it might have been Jaeger, but of course, the glass changes coming are going to be kind of interesting. He wouldn't have do that kind of peak. He would have to be standing still, so something to look forward to in next season as well.
Glass changes are really going to change the dynamic of the game and how Glass is going to be used more as essentially a turret than he's going to be this offensive fragger that you see him now as a role. But Ohio State really stifling Syracuse here again. I mean, it's a minute and 30, halfway through the round, and Syracuse has taken a little bit of damage, and they haven't given any back to Ohio State, and they haven't really made any progress into that bedroom. You would have liked to see them at least aggress in there and get that Thermite set up so that he can kind of pop that wall, but haven't really been able to do it yet. And they're finally pushing into the Swabby. Crab gonna get the pick on the Chemical, but I mean, honestly, with a minute left, it's a pick. But at the same time, you're still 5v4. You have to push into Ohio State. Gonna take out that Jaeger potentially from below, but not gonna be able to get it through the floor. Gonna be looking for probably those bandit charges to see if they can pressure him off of that wall. But I mean, if he's bandit tricking correctly, you're not gonna be able to shoot the bullets too late.
Kind of risky here, of course. If the other player had shot through the floor, then could be gone here. Just trying to get those.
And realistically, they're taking a bunch of time here too. I mean, it's 38 seconds left, and they have made almost no progress. It looks like onto that upper bomb site. Ubi gonna get a pick onto Shrimp, and now it's 4v4 playing those white stairs. Gonna get re-pushed here by Crab and gonna get picked. So, but still, Syracuse needs to pressure Ohio State here because it's 20 seconds left and they have not made a lot of progress. Looks like they've got that Glass in armory on that hallway to kind of make sure he can hold that. But still, they're gonna have to push into Essay here. Oh, he's gonna
end up very low, but a lot. And this could be interesting for Cal because his smoke might be the utility here.
Barely getting the plant down is valued. It is a 2-on-2, and he's going to push up. He's going to get picked off by Chacho, but One Daddy kills the planter and saves Ohio State there. That was a huge pick by One Daddy, stopping the plant and really making sure that Ohio State wins that round because it seemed like it was falling apart even though they had the advantage. That was quite the messy end of that round, but One Daddy saving Ohio State there.
And a very good smoke, of course. He was able to see Cal, but Cal was not able to see him. Pretty risky push, but of course, that's what you had to do. Kind of interesting plays there.
Yeah. Syracuse really being stalled out by that bandit pick and kind of having to just run through that white hole and hope that they don't get anything. And honestly, Essay, that gunfight goes either way. If he gets those 2 picks, that round's over right there. And Syracuse is just kind of stifled. But he loses the gunfight to the Thermite and the Glass stack, and honestly, really, that opened up the round for Syracuse, but One Daddy gets the pick at the end and stops the plant and really saves the round for Ohio State.
Yeah, and they're really going to go strong here on health. They're going to take the Rook and the Doc. Kind of interesting, 2 big anchors. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, gonna have a couple anchors, especially with that Echo now. I mean, usually you don't see the Echo roam. I mean, it's become more and more in the meta to have one of the Doc or the Rook roaming, just having those ACOGs be a little bit strong, but still, I mean, like you said, there's going to be a lot of beef here on this side for Ohio State with the 3-3 armors and running that castle again, Legion again as well. So a pretty standard setup from what we've seen from them before. This back tower is not the easiest to hold, but at the same time, if you play your angles right, you can really make sure that the attackers have to really push into you and kind of play bad angles that they don't want to play.
And of course, Ubi able to predict that spawn, and it could be interesting here whether any of them are actually going to go in there. Could end up resulting in a kill one way or the other for any of them.
Yeah, Ubi really going to play aggressive here on this pick. Going to see the feet of somebody, but he's going to see the knee, and he's going to get a good amount of damage here.
Yeah, very low. There's the diffuser, actually. Call that out. We'll see if we see anybody else try to hold something here. And another great shot. Going to take out 2.
Two huge picks there by Ubi. I mean, the Thatcher down and the Glass, or the Thermite down and the Glass. I mean, this is really going to make this push from Rainbow, or from Syracuse, sorry about that, a little bit more one-dimensional because they're going to have to push into Ohio State. They're not going to be able to abuse that Capitao smoke, and they're going to really have to force themselves onto this site, really disadvantageous kind of way.
And a kind of unfortunate, drop on the Doc there. Of course, they reset him, and then while they were doing that, they shot him with the Doc. So not as much utility gain there, but of course, he does have that reset now.
Yeah, and Ohio State being aggressive here in this upper meeting area, looking for peaks on the roof. Not going to find anything yet, but still, I mean, they've really kind of set themselves up well in this round, getting those 2 early picks. Ubi being very, very aggressive, honestly, and just kind of playing to the predictability of Syracuse. I mean, they spawned on that site every single time for no matter the push, like you said before, and they just got a little bit too predictable, and Ubi was able to abuse that. But with a minute left here, Syracuse is going to have to set up on this push as they are looking to kind of even themselves up on this offensive side for them.
Yeah, and it looks like they might try a little bit of a pinch, but those players might be rotating on the backside. Of course, kind of a big play coming in there. Of course, the kill's going to go to our daddy, so it's just the diffuser with IQ and the cap left.
Yeah, the aggressive repeat by 180 there, winning in that fight. Crab not going to check that upper soft wall, and is going to get picked up by SA, and SA is going to refrag onto Cal as T-Kip kills him, and that was a really strong hold from Ohio State. I mean, they aggressed when they needed to. They got the picks when they needed to. But, I mean, honestly, that round just was all about how predictable Syracuse was. But now we're going to see Syracuse switch onto the defensive side and see if they can set themselves up in a little bit more of a strong position. They went 2-4 on their attacker side push. And, I mean, with the operators that were banned and having to play around that Thatcher ban, honestly, it's was really, I think, kind of the hard part for them. They weren't able to open up some of the entry points that you normally can on those sites, and really showed that they kind of got stifled either with picks or just honestly how they played. I mean, a couple of those rounds really took it down to the last 10, 15 seconds on when they pushed and when they got it to the site.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of interesting for us. This is where we saw a lot of the action last week. Completely different operators picked here by Ohio State, but this is where a lot of the game took place, and it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to make that happen again. Of course, a pretty different strategy on both sides.
Yeah, for sure. The Ohio State used that Maverick very well last week in certain situations. They were able to, especially on this site, open up that upper hatch, even though it was muted, and kind of get a couple of picks or even just get a little bit of pressure from that hatch and pressure CMU last week off of that bomb site. But going to be looking like you're going to do the same thing. Make glass in that cap attack again with the thermite for the entry. The Maverick to play a little bit more of a utility role. The Syracuse side, we're going to be looking at a similar kind of defense here, except they're going to opt for the Valkyrie this time, so a little bit more information that they're looking to gain rather than maybe having a Doc or Rook to aid the rest of the team. But it looks like Shrimp is probably going to set himself up here in this closet area to play off of those Echo drones and really deny plants. But yeah, interested to see for sure how Syracuse takes this defending side after they played a little bit predictable, honestly, on their attacking side.
Yeah, and I mean, 3 different spawns here coming in from Ohio State, so just a different strategy, and it's going to be interesting whether it pays off. Of course, Ubi is alone on that right side, but so is the defender. So
yeah, and then like a completely different strategy here from Syracuse, opening up those double hatches in meeting instead of closing him off. So they're going to have the Legion play in the meeting area and kind of be that roamer in there protecting those hatches. But you got to think that if he gets picked off and those hatches are open, it can really give a lot of pressure to Ohio State. Ubi is going to find this
vigil.
He's going to find the vigil up here in the big tower. He knows he's there. I don't know if there's a rotate, but he knows that he's above him and he can hear him now, especially. And going to try to, I'm guessing, pressure him off of this room so that they can get a little bit of pressure onto these back stairs. But Cha-Cha is going to be watching this because he knows that he's been drawn out. It does not look like he has a rotation open yet, but he does have one impact to open up that soft wall to his south.
This is really just not an advantageous peak for Ubi to take. It's, you don't really know where Vigil is, and of course he can do this since I peek, and it's really not much you can do. So probably not going to see a fight here, but he is going to Ubi watch these stairs to make sure that they rotate in.
Yeah, he's really got himself in a very strong position. Ohio State, more than likely, they're going to pressure onto that lobby area. Already got that hatch open and really going to force Syracuse to kind of play safe here. They know that there's at least somebody in that back stairs. If they play more towards that lobby side, all they're going to have to worry about is the roamers in meeting. It looks like Tick has been spotted out in meeting. Going to get the ping onto him, but Ubi going to get the pick onto Crab in. He's going to get another one onto Shrimp and a third onto Value. Ubi dropping that hatch and getting a ton of pressure, really destroying the Syracuse defense here. That was a huge play by Ubi. And Cal's going to get the plant down. They're really just looking for those last two. One Daddy's going to get the pick on the tick up. And that's probably honestly going to be the round here for Ohio State. I mean, that was that was a huge drop there from Ubi, getting those 3 frags and really just getting a lot of pressure onto that Syracuse defense when they really weren't expecting.
Yeah, and Ubi, of course, still thinks that Vigil's up here, and of course he left, so not going to get the final kill there. Of course, a great round from Ubi, nevertheless.
Really strong round there from Ohio State overall. Really, I think taking advantage of the fact that Legion was distracted by that lobby push, and he just kind of ran down backstairs, it looked like, or even dropped the hatch, I'm not sure. And really got a bunch of pressure there and just blew that Syracuse defense up. But yeah, a really strong round there from Ubi. Really a strong game here from Ubi with 10 kills already. And yeah, it looks like the Syracuse is going to go back downstairs. So gonna try it again. Honestly, I can't blame because I think that they were holding that round honestly pretty well, other than the Ubi flank. But Ubi gonna switch off of that Twitch onto the Montaigne. So gonna be playing a little bit of utility, then the Fragger roll on the Twitch. And
very similar to last week, right? This is when we really saw Ohio State just go away with the rounds, and it was when Ubi switched to Montaigne, and of course, he's followed by Cal with, an actual fragger, and really able to capitalize on that. So, going to be interesting to see that.
Yeah, this last week they really utilized this strategy to a very strong emphasis. They just kind of made sure that Ubi, even though he might not have been filling up the stats sheet last round or last game, was really just forcing people to play in front of him and forcing people to kind of pay attention to him because, with that Montaigne, you look away for a second, he's going to drop that shield, he's going to kill you. He'll just walk up, stab you. So, really going to switch it up a little bit here. Going to look for probably a more traditional push here onto that lobby area. But, yeah, Ubi last week really showed how strong that Montaigne can be with entry fragger, like you said, Cal. So, Syracuse going again with that defense up here. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of it, opening up at least one of those hatches. And I think that it really pushed a lot of pressure onto whoever's playing up here, meaning Hall. Not only does he have to watch out from the pressure from the lobby area, but he's got to make sure that nobody can drop those hatches and just kind of blow up that defense like what kind of happened last round. Crab's going to be looking here for a pick into this blue area, but not going to. And honestly, Ohio State's going with that classic kind of lobby push, it looks like. Droning it out, obviously, at first, but a little more methodical than last round, where they kind of relied on Ubi to get the picks for them to really win that round. But yeah.
We are going to see entry here from a couple of them. Of course, Monty's already on site, so going to be interesting here to see how that works out.
Gonna already pressure down onto those white stairs with a minute into the round gone. Gonna take a little bit of damage there on the feet, but not gonna be too bad for him. Gonna aggress here and kind of he's gonna drop the shield and not gonna take any damage actually, surprisingly, but still gonna take up a lot of the attention from the Syracuse defense.
Allowed them to open the hatch there even, so they have a little peek hole.
Yeah, with that wall in front of him still fully reinforced, he's going to really be able to play as aggressively. Going to get peeked with that smoke grenade down now too. Ohio State's got to kind of play off this pressure that Ubi has gotten them. He's going to reload, play a little bit more safely here. Going to push up and let the Glass kind of do what he was designed to do and get these kills through the smoke if he can. Chemical going to get a pick. Ubi going to aggress up onto them. Chemical going to get another one, and Ubi's doing damage, taking a lot of attention. SA is going to get down, but Teacup is going to get finished by Cal's Claymore, and Ubi's going to push in and get the... Not going to get the knife.
Not going to get it.
But still, Ohio State has the control in this round with the Glass. One daddy going to get a pick, and he's going to get the final one as well. And really just kind of a mess of an attack there from Ohio State, but it was organized chaos. They had Ubi run in there, they dropped the smokes, and they just kind of threw a bunch of shots down range and landed them and got the kills that they needed on the Syracuse.
Yeah, and of course their entry fragger last week they used Cal, and of course now they're using Chemical. So of course Chemical followed up Ubi, took the attention off of roaming and everything. They had all 5 players come back to site, and that really just shut them down because then they were able to close in on them and pinch them into that smaller site that basement.
Yeah. The work by Montaigne and by Glass really kind of opened up that defense for Syracuse. They just got that pressure from the Montana. And I mean, you have to pay attention if that glass is shooting at you, but as soon as you look for the glass, Ubi on that Montana is just going to drop that shield and just spray at you and hope that he can do a little bit of damage. Gonna flex onto the Blackbeard instead of the glass, which probably is just as good for this upstairs site where you can hold that big one with the Blackbeard shields. But gonna go again with a similar kind of setup here. Gonna switch out onto the Buck to kind of open up some of those more soft floors to destroy any utility that Syracuse has. And Syracuse is gonna run that standard composition here with the Doc and the Rook, Legion for the roam, and the Bandit for probably that bedroom denial.
Yeah, and of course, what we'll probably see here is a Blackbeard and Montaigne team up. Of course, they can go in together and really be protected pretty heavily, get two full guns going. So, going to be interesting where they decide to push.
Yeah, gonna have a lot of threat there with if they do decide to push with the Montaigne and the Blackbeard. I think that honestly, I'm surprised at Syracuse the 2 times they held the basement. They didn't offer up that Thatcher or that mute at any time because that Thatcher was banned. I mean, that was really kind of the strong point for Ohio State's defenses in that laundry site was they were able to mute off that hatch and they forced Syracuse to go a different direction. But Syracuse not opting for the mute and kind of taking advantage of the 2 times they played this site. But Ohio State will start to push here on this match point and kind of look for a little bit of a more non-standard approach. Look like they're going to be pushing that big window with Ubi and potentially the Blackbeard instead of the armory or the bedroom side.
And just very interesting strategy here. They had Cal with the diffuser go upstairs. And then, of course, that takes him off, and he was the first one in. But now they're going to use their distraction, put their 2 shields on this window, and try and maybe sneak it in. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do with it.
One Daddy holding this door on the bedroom side. Cal going to drop down with him. And this Montana and this Blackbeard on this big window are going to offer just so much threat here. Ubi going to get into this corner, going to get hit by a Legion, which is not.
And I think he saw that coming. Of course, he did have the shield down and ready to go. But if they're able to retake this, this could be pretty interesting.
Going to get C4 from below. And it's going to connect and throw a little bit of damage onto him, but not a bunch. He can see him peeking. He's going to get the pick onto Shrimp. And, I mean, I don't think Shrimp thought he could see him. Honestly, Ubi just gets a really strong shot there. Going to get a potential another pick onto the Jaeger. Knows he's in here. Going to pressure him on the B-bomb site. Going to force him to roam through the Blackbeard site. Not going to get the kill, actually, but and Ubi's going to get picked here. But Cal is going to get this plant down. Like you said, really throwing off the focus of Syracuse here. And Blackbeard's going to aggress into that B-bomb site. Going to play the cross. Cal's going to get the bomb down and play back. SA is going to get picked by Cha-Cha. Tippet's going to get immediately a refract onto Crab and a Valued. And it puts Ohio State in a very advantageous position. Sees the Jaeger but cannot kill him. Or the Bandit, I mean, going to get picked off by him instead. But he's going to get the trade on the down. Cal's going to get the refrag. And it's all up to the Legion here to save this round for Syracuse. One Daddy going to get the repeat onto that long bomb site. But, I mean, with about 15 seconds left here, Legion's going to really have to push here. Cal knows that he's in a really advantageous position. But Tika going to get both kills, but he is not going to have time to defuse, especially with that Claymore. And that is going to be the map for Ohio State there. A real messy round there at the end for Ohio State. I think One Daddy was probably playing with his food a little bit too much and kind of got burned by it and got killed by the Legion. But at the end of the day, that Claymore saves the day from him and couldn't kill it in time, and Ohio State wins the first round all in all.
Yeah, and I mean, great gameplay there, of course. Definitely a sloppy one, and of course, it did work out in Ohio State's favor, but a few seconds earlier, and it wouldn't have. So, kind of an interesting match there. But of course, we'll be back in just a minute. I've got our separate map coming up.
Yeah, we'll see you after the break. All right, we are back for the second round of, or the second game of our best of two. It is going to be on bank, and after that first match, Ohio State looking pretty dominant there, honestly. On Oregon, 7-2 was the final score if you missed it, and yeah,
Starting right up with the band phases, of course. Going to see definitely different bands here on bank versus that Oregon map. Two completely different maps, much larger here on bank. Going to be interesting. Maybe not see as much Monty from Ohio State. So
yeah, for sure. Gonna be interested to see how the bands change because I think that Thatcher band from Ohio State last map was very crucial to the way that they had to play it. And it really, I think, kind of caused a lot of problems for that Syracuse attacking side where they just couldn't get as many rounds as they needed to, and they kind of stifled a lot on the offensive side. But gonna see that Glass band first. I think the Glass Capital combo that both of these teams have been running has been pretty effective, or even the Glass is not smoke. It's just been really strong in pushing people off their corners. Going to see the Jackal Man again from Ohio State sticking with that same band, kind of allowing them to roam on the defensive side and just really opening up the map a little bit more. Like you said, bank a bigger map and a lot more rotation, so that Jackal going to allow the roamers to kind of fully utilize.
yeah, and of course with the bigger map, Glass is a lot more powerful. So it's not surprising that they'd ban him here. And of course, you know, going to see Mira here, and then it's going to be interesting to actually see what their second fenders.
Yeah, the mirror band, I think it's pretty strong on a couple of the sites, honestly. I mean, that downstairs locker room hold and the main floor hold, even the open area and the archive site are both pretty strong for the Mira. So I think there's not a strong band of Ohio State, just making sure that they can't anchor down. But the Echo band from Syracuse, I don't think either of the teams really utilized the Echo to this full potential last round.
Yeah, I really didn't see any hits with the Yokai drone, even though it seemed like Echo made it in about half the rounds. So, I mean, it's decent band there. Of course, this is a map where Echo has a lot of range and it's harder to find the drone, but kind of an interesting thing to ban there.
Yeah, I mean, harder to find the drone and harder to just a lot of places he can hide on some of these sites. I mean, that basement site is notorious for him being able to post up in many of the different areas and just kind of deny plants and be useful on the drones. But yeah, I mean, both of them picking it last map, but not really either of them utilizing it. We'll see how it plays out. Ohio State going to be on the attacking side first. Going to go with a pretty standard attack here with that Montane again. Going to immediately bring the Thatcher back out too. Going to 6-pick onto the Ying. So I'll be interested for sure to see how they utilize that Ying on this push. And it's going to be an upstairs hold here from Syracuse. So a very interesting approach here, considering I think you talk to anybody in the game and that downstairs base